make any money goat farming, but as the numbers are growing in size here at Sunset Hill, I did spend that money on this bad boy, and what an absolute ripper, honestly. All the weaners that are coming, get them on some good feed, up that meat quality, just gonna go absolutely awesome. So that little purchase and another one coming soon, another purchase which super excited to tell you guys about, but it'll be way cooler if you guys just see it. So I just thought I'd fill you in about what we do in terms of putting them on sort of like a grain feed out the goats here. So they're on a ration that involves them being on sort of like a grower pallet, which has got a whole bunch of different grains and minerals and stuff in it, plus some lick powder, some mineral liquid as well that goes over their hay, and then obviously supplement them with some hay depending on what stage they're in and the conditions. And obviously we know super dry here, but I thought I would just explain how we do that as well. So to save money on feed and give them a balanced ration, we use the Advantage feeders. So at the moment, this is an 800 model, so one of their smaller models that I just picked up, but also we have two of their bigger ones, which are the 3800 models. And those ones hold probably just around close to 4. So they hold about 4 ton of pellets, where this one, if you're feeding pellets, you can put any grain or meal or whatever you want through it, but it holds probably about 500 kilos of pellets of what I'm putting in at the moment. And this little one right here can probably feed between 200 and 300 goats or lambs off of this one. And then it can also do obviously cattle as well. You can adjust the height that it sits at for sheep height, but this is pretty small, so I'd probably say you'd only be feeding a few calves or some cows if you had this smaller version. But it is prime for what I want to do at the moment. So got the other feeders in the paddock, but this one is going to really help in terms of being able to, when I put the weaners off, keep them on a grower pallet so that they can really pick up condition and weight. But this little 800, the good thing about this specific model at Advantage Feeders is that it really is built for I guess that whole weaning process. So you can get this extra, but this one comes with creep panels. So these ones actually fold down, and they just make this gap here smaller, so that only the head of like young ones can really get in there, so mums can't really get in. And it's great with the goats, even if you have horn goats, which most people would, because it's a flat side here, so you're not going to get caught on anything on these edges when they do turn their heads to go in. But it's perfect to split that ration and to creep feed animals off onto weaning, so you can sort of transition the young ones onto that diet, so that it's not really just a high stress thing where you're just switching from one feed to another. So that's one of the main things that's really awesome about this. But also what's good about this feeder is that it is actually divided in half. And what this means for the benefit of being split in half. Now, I'm lucky enough that I have another feeder to do this with, but if you were just to use this model, for example, you can see the plate in the middle here in this glass. What this means is you can put 2 different kinds of feeds if you wanted to, one for the mums and one for the kids that you want to wean off, and this is in the goat example, but whatever you're doing. But what that really allows you to do, is put a creep panel down on one side if you want to, and that way the mums will actually teach the kids how to eat out of these grain bins as well. But I guess that's just another benefit that's put in, but not in some of the other models. So the other real factor is how much Advantage feeders have developed these feeders over time. So we have some of the older models which are quite flimsy and whatever, but this feeder is awesome in terms of how they've just gone and changed, just making it simple to adjust how much you want to give in terms of the ration and how much you want to feed your animals per day. And why this is awesome is because we really are focused. And the reason you really want to know how you're, I guess, splitting up and how much each animal's eating is, well, you have this guide here as well, which tells you consumption for mature sheep and goats. And it's just a simple dot graph that can tell you, we set it at the moment, depending on the ration, 3 by 3, and it'll just tell you what your animals are eating in kilograms per head per day, or pounds, whatever you want to measure. But this is really great if you want to keep track and management of your animals, and you want to keep track of your diet and how much you're putting in and how much profit you are going to make per animal. But it's really simple to adjust now. And the last thing that these all feeders do have is this little plate here. So there's a gap in here where they turn their head to lick through, but this plate here stops them from just running their tongue right along the ridge in here, and just getting acidosis or bloat from eating too much. So this little panel is also sweet. So this little thing is perfectly designed for what we want to do, and I would highly recommend it, because mostly just because the actual benefit that you get from being able to track how much they eat is really going to put more money in your pocket, and you can track that consumption and make more profit. But also, this product specifically has just really been well designed and will last a really long time. So for the price that you pay, I definitely think it's worth it. But that's how we put weight on our animals, and that's how we sort of try and track what feed we put into them on a daily basis, and how we sort of manage our meat development in our animals over time.